My name is Amara.
And my name is Gospel.
Today we just want to have another conversation about what men wish their wives knew about them. And I'm sure you will find it of value. Hopefully you will find this of value. And we felt that it's very important for us to kind of highlight this, because we've kind of got a lot of people sending us messages saying, my wife don't get me, she doesn't get the gist. Okay, we heard you guys, all right. So today we're doing that video.
We've talked in our previous videos that marriage is not built by default.
At all.
Any successful marriage you see out there didn't happen by default. You don't get married and believe that you have a successful marriage naturally.
Yeah.
You have to be intentional about it.
Yes.
You have to be intentional about it. And intentional about it requires that the man and the woman know what they need to bring on board, know their responsibilities, and they keep doing that.
Yes.
And this is what we want to point out today. To start this conversation, as a man, I want to say that one of the things most men wish their wives knew about them is that men want their wives to submit to them. Men want their wives to respect them and to submit to them.
This is kind of a very controversial thing because there are a lot of varied views about
the context of submission and respect.
Yes. So we're going to kind of talk about it. But to start off with, let's look at the definition. Because sometimes when we don't understand the definition of something, we can be a bit like, arguing about, oh no, I'm not doing that. Oh yes, I'm doing that. So we decided to look at Cambridge Dictionary definition of what submission is. Now, respect means to honor. It means to esteem someone. Okay? Now, respect also has been defined, so in varied ways. Respect also has been defined as admiration shown for someone or something that you believe has got value.
Submission, on the other hand, is the act of accepting the power or the authority of someone else. So within the context of marriage, you expect that your husband, even though you know you have your individuality, you have your authority, you can do things by yourself, but you allow your husband the power and the authority to lead in the marriage.
In order to help us understand the concept of submission, I would give an example. It's just like pilots being trained, right? So you have a lot in a pilot or school. So many of them are trained to, fly the plane.
Yes.
However, when you get on board, you allow one pilot to actually fly the plane when the others will take the back seats. Just sit down and allow the pilot to fly the plane.
Usually in any aircraft you have one pilot and you have co-pilots.
Yes, so the co-pilots will, chill a little bit and allow the main pilot drive it. Now, in marriage, it's kind of very similar.
Yes.
And I would liken the pilot to be the man.
While the co-pilot is
the wife. And the marriage itself is the plane.
The
aircraft. So for you to allow, because if both of you are trying to give instructions, now you guys are likely to crash. So it's more or less you allowing the pilot, who in this context is the man, to drive it. Why? You could give some suggestions, but not necessarily you taking the wheel. So this is just to give us a bit of perspective of what submission seems like. So it's not a bad situation, is it?
It is not, but because we see marriage as what God instituted.
Yes.
And the order for it is that within the context of marriage, the man needs to be the leader.
Yes. But some women feel oppressed. They feel like being submissive is like keeping them oppressed, keeping them subjugated.
It's because people don't understand the concept of submission.
Okay.
Even from the man's point of view.
Okay.
If a man understands submission as someone having an authority and allowing you to lead, just like you have a company where you have CEO, you have people managing different things within the organization.
Yes.
But someone has to be the arrowhead who
takes the lead.
The key decisions. This is
yeah.
how it is in marriage. Because if everyone is trying to lead doing their own thing, there will be chaos. There
Yes.
won't be order.
Absolutely.
So that's how it is. The man needs to lead, and the woman has to co-lead with him.
Co-lead, yes.
Co-lead, if I will use that word. So like being a co-pilot. They work together, but who is the leader? It should be the man.
Sometimes in a marriage, some women get married to men that don't deserve for them to be submitted to, because they don't feel loved enough for them to allow their husbands to take the lead. Now, this brings to mind, or this brings the question about, is it conditional? Is submission conditional? So even if your husband does not deserve submission, should I give submission irrespective of that? So what do you think of that?
I think the issue of whether he deserves it or not should not come into it.
Yes.
Because our point of view is that once you agree to marry someone, you've already signed a consent, or you've given your consent that within this marriage, I have a responsibility to play. I have a role to play. And my role as the woman is to allow you to lead. So once you get to that point of saying, yes, I do, you've already said, I'm ready to submit to you.
Yes.
That is why we always say to singles, don't get into marriage if you know that you're not ready to submit to the guy.
Yes.
Because if you don't, there will be disorder.
Yes.
Again, we say to the guys, don't get into marriage with a lady you know you cannot love. And we see this as an unconditional thing.
Yes.
Both love and respect should be unconditional.
Yes.
In fact, if the man gives love unconditionally and the woman gives respect unconditionally, obviously everyone will be happy.
Yes.
That is what it is.
I think another point to note from what you've said is that everyone deserves respect. So let's not make it like it has to be the man or the woman giving the respect and then the woman don't deserve respect. Everyone in a relationship is deserving of respect. So the man, the woman, even the children in a relationship should be given some respect. And I think that if everyone focuses on being respectful to one another, then the conflict within the relationship would be minimized.
Yeah, but I want to point out one thing here.
Yes.
That from a man's point of view, he defines submission as you being respectful to him. So you can't say to a man, I am submissive to you, when you're not respectful to him.
I see.
So that is the borderline.
Yeah.
You don't expect the man to submit to the wife in terms of her leading the family.
I see what you mean.
So when you show that respect of allowing him to lead, then you are submissive.
Yes, but then what happens when there are points of varied opinions? So you have an opinion about something and you feel that the family should be led in a certain way because of the vision that you have. However, I have a contrary opinion about it.
I think this is where flexibility we talked about some time ago comes in.
Yes.
The man needs to be flexible enough to take on board the solid opinion of the wife. When they see this, that she has her area of strength, I have my area of strength. Even though I am the leader, it is teamwork.
Yes.
So in a team where in football, let me use football analogy here. You have 11 players in a team. You have a captain.
Yeah.
Even though you have the captain who is the leader in the team, everyone has their role to play. The captain cannot be the goalkeeper, the striker, the attacker, the everything all by himself.
Yes.
So he needs to know my strength as the captain is to defend, and he will stick to defense. The wife needs to know that her strength is to be an attacker, and let us give her that responsibility to play.
Yes.
So if she brings a point that has to do with attacking,
yes,
it is her play.
Yes. So this is in the context of football play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let me drive it home. If, for instance, the woman has more financial prowess within the marriage,
in managing
money,
yes,
I wouldn't say I am the head, therefore I should be the one controlling everything about money.
Yes.
In fact, she can make decisions around money because she is the one who is good in that department. That is how it should be.
Yes.
But then overall, when we talk about the man leading, it's not even about imposing your authority. It's about influence. It's about the example you show in the home.
Absolutely.
So when you show good example, leadership is influence. When you show good example, everyone wants to align
follow,
with what you're doing.
Yeah, it will be easy to follow.
Exactly.
Yes. And I think that when we talk about leadership, it's not like you said, it's not like you being a figurehead. It's not like you are asserting your authority as a man, but it's about you being an example. And in so doing, you're kind of like leading as a servant. So you're serving the home, you're serving the marriage.
You lead as a role model.
Yes.
For me, that is what encapsulates it. You lead as a role model. So whatever you want people to do within the home, you show it by how you behave and your actions.
And I think it will be so easy for a woman to follow a man who is leading by example.
It will be so easy depending on the woman. Some women are very, very difficult to follow. They have this leadership tendency where they think, I can't see myself coming under a man. I need to push. I need to be the one doing things. I need to be the one calling the shots. I need to be the one making decisions. And when that is the case, the man finds it difficult to believe that the wife is submissive to him or respectful to him.
Yes. And I think that a lot of women, or some women, that find themselves in that sort of situation are women probably who are mature, who have stayed on as single and they're able to kind of run their life and make their decision. And now it's a bit challenging for them to, relinquish that authority to another man and say, come on, lead me. It's kind of difficult for them.
Very, very difficult. But then understand that marriage is about interdependence.
That's true.
You're independent as a single. When you chose to get married, relinquish that is me. It's all about me.
It's
Look
about
at
us.
it is about us.
That's true. Moving on, let me just state that the language of love that men understand is respect.
Yes.
The thing is, every man wants to be loved just the way women. We love to be loved, we love to be pampered, but the difference between the men and the women in terms of how we interpret love as women is the fact that for men, or for women, let me start with the women, we feel loved when we feel appreciated, when we feel, we get attention, when we kind of TLC, we're like, ooh, this guy loves me.
Tender
loving care. That's what we want. But for a man, they feel love or they believe that you love them when you show them respect.
Yeah.
So, okay, you want to say something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just to phrase it my own way as a man, I think the lens through which we see love, the lens through which we perceive love is respect. So, how do I know that my wife loves me? You can say you love a man, you can do things to show a man you love him, but when he does not see the color of respect within the actions of love, it's difficult for him
to believe
that you genuinely love him.
Now let me just state this upfront. Men are wired with a sense of ego. Everything they do in terms of their job, in terms of providing for the family, material wealth, everything has a link to how much sense of respect that they feel, that they get that vibe, that respect vibe. And now this is why when a man loses his job, he is totally devastated, mentally speaking, emotionally speaking, even psychologically speaking. It has a huge impact on him because it ties to his ego, it ties to his perception or his feeling of the respect that he experiences as a man. Am I speaking for you guys?
Yes, you are right. And this is why it is difficult for most men or some men to allow their wives to be the breadwinner. Because he feels he's been emasculated. I don't know if I use the right word. He feels you've ripped me of my manhood. I am not man enough to provide for my family. And we've said it before that even if you're in that phase of your life, it doesn't stop you from being a man. It doesn't stop you from being the leader in the home. In fact, a good woman would help you go through that phase of your life. But the point we are making is that a man sees love from respect, and a man feels his ego is intact when you show him respect.
Now, the fact that this word respect, everybody loves the word, respect. Some women are saying, I respect my husband. I've shown him respect in many ways unimaginable. What do they mean when they say we don't respect them?
Okay.
Because this is something that I think some women watching this video would be saying, I don't get this.
I think from a man's point of view, respect has to do with different elements of what a woman does within, or a wife does within the family.
Okay.
Number one is you must respect his judgment and his decisions. It will almost be impossible for any man to believe that you respect him if you always question and criticize his decisions. Whatever he says, for instance, there's something on the table for you to decide as a family, and he's saying, let's go to point A, and you're saying, no, point A is wrong, it has to be point B. Each time he brings up a suggestion, he's open-minded, he wants to carry you along, but each time he comes up with what he wants the family to do, a decision he wants you to make as a family, you always puncture his idea, you always criticize him. He will never believe you respect him, no matter how much you say you respect him.
So, are you now trying to say that should a woman now follow a man sheepishly, even when he knows this man is in error? As in, obviously, this thing is not going to take us anywhere. And you still want the woman. I'm just giving an example because I just want to play the devil's advocate here. So are you not saying she should follow sheepishly? It doesn't matter.
You do, even if it's right or wrong,
I have to show him respect. I respect you, darling. Let's just go on. Let's jump into the hole together.
No, that is not what this is about. Even for me as a man, it is foolishness to live in error, make wrong decisions, and someone is pointing out to you that this is the wrong thing, and you keep doing that.
Okay.
The key point is, even when a man has made a mistake, let's use one decision now.
Yes.
There is something you guys need to do. He has his own view, you have your own view. His judgment was wrong, yours was right, and there was a problem because of that decision. What do? Do you jump into the blame game?
Oh, I see.
So if you immediately there is a problem with the decision he's made and you decide to blame him, puncture his ego, tell him how wrong he was, a man will become defensive. He's not defending himself because he has not made a mistake. He's defending himself because he wants to protect his ego.
I see.
That is what it is.
So should we not say anything at
so
the point
how you present your point, how you come across to him when you tell him, honey, this thing you did was wrong. Using that tone is different from, why did you do this? They are not the same. Honey, you should have done it. You know, I told you would have done it this way. It would have worked better. A good man will tell you, yes, I know. Next time I'll listen to you. But if you say to him, you see, that this is how foolish you are. When I tell you something, you don't listen. Look at you don't listen. Look at it now. You do it that way, the man will feel like, yes, I did it, it's wrong. But that question mark is there.
That's true. Another point that we want to talk about, because this whole respect, we're breaking it down.
Yes.
When they say respect, what do they mean?
It's good to break it down.
Exactly.
Very important.
Now, the second point of angle of respect is a man wants you to respect his ability and his efforts.
Very important.
Most men feel so respected, like high and ooh, when his wife value the sacrifices and the contributions that they make for the well-being of their wife and their children. So the effort that they make on the job so as to provide for you, provide for the children, that hard work, the little things they do, just focusing on those things and showing like, wow, I really appreciate what you're doing. I love the fact that you're working hard, you're making this contribution, you're taking responsibility for us as a family. You know, this is very important for a man. It's important that you acknowledge what they do. It's important that you place value on what they do, and that you recognize it, you highlight it to them, you celebrate it, you rave about it, you dance about it. It's important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is important. You know, the funny thing is that most people see, some wives think because it's your responsibility to provide for the family, it doesn't really matter. After all, it's what you ought to do, that you have to do.
That's true.
So when you don't value all those things, it also shows that you don't value the effort we make as a person, and you don't value us, you don't respect us. How we know you respect us is how you show appreciation for who we are and what we do.
Okay.
So another angle to it is that some people think, or some men think, that if you acknowledge what they do, then they will do more. You know, the problem is that some women highlight the negative things about their spouse. You're always looking for the faults. You're always looking for what he's not doing well. You're always looking for the negative things about him, forgetting that when you highlight the positive things, it magnifies.
That's true.
It grows.
Yeah. And again, what you say, I mean, it's just the word, the law of your words, the power of your words. You know, what if you keep speaking negative about your spouse, it becomes the reality, actually. So I think you speak more, celebrate. It might be little, it might not be doing something very significant, but just highlight those little things, those little nothings that he's done. And you might be surprised that he would be motivated and encouraged to do even more.
Following on what you just said, I think for a man, if you respect his ability to do the right thing or to do things right,
yes,
then he will feel respected. It's one thing to appreciate what he does.
Yes.
It's also another thing to believe he can do things the right way.
Yes. Some women would rather believe their bosses at work, their colleagues at work, than to even believe their husbands. And as a wife, you need to think also about always picking faults. Everything your husband does, you're always picking on him. You didn't do this right. You're always trying to teach him how to do X, Y, Z.
Because you believe you know it better than he does.
Absolutely. And I appreciate the fact that there are, you have your strength, I have my strength. But at some point, it's good to just, rein it in a little bit and just allow him to do it. Because every time you're trying to teach him what to do, I mean, it's about even how you do it. It's about the how you do it. And you're kind of projecting to him that you do not believe in his ability.
That he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yes, you don't believe in his ability to actually, you've got this. You have to do. I believe you've got this. So you don't believe that he's got it. So you're constantly trying to come in to help, and I can understand that sometimes it's genuine. Like the help is genuine. You just want to help someone because you don't want that person to make the mistake. But unfortunately, from a man's perspective, they tend to misinterpret this as you being disrespectful. Another way men would wish their wives would respect them, some men, although some women do it, but not all the time, is that you show respect through your words. Most women express their feelings through words. We are too chat. We can talk a lot as women.
Yes.
I mean, I'm included as well, as you can tell. So women can always talk about things. So if a woman is not happy, she wants to talk. She wants to pour out her feeling. She wants to say it as it is in her mind. She just wants to say, I want to express myself. I want you to listen to me. He's not listening. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. It's just something wrong.
There's nothing wrong with expressing your feeling.
Yes.
Because I think things are different here in the context of a man. When a man is not happy, when a man is angry, he might become quiet.
Yeah.
He might be...
And we don't like it.
He might be thinking about processing what is going on here. But when a woman is not happy, when she's feeling sad, whatever she's feeling, she's expressing it through her words. Even when she's happy,
Yeah.
you can see that expression through her words. And the ability to use your tongue, for me, is a key part of being a woman. It is your element. It is your gift. It is something powerful that a woman can use. In fact, some women have used it to move men to the next level. Where you see a man, he's nobody, he doesn't even believe in himself. But once he gets married, seen that happen, this woman will tell him, I know you can. I believe you can. In fact, nobody's like you. You can do it. Such affirmation and motivation has helped some men to conquer the world.
That's true.
And then I've also seen women that have used that power of their tongue to destroy their men.
Yeah.
When you keep telling a man you are good for nothing, look at you, you know nothing, you're stupid, you're this, you're that.
Yeah.
You're cheating
That destroys
the man's
self-image. Yeah.
And he would never believe you love him.
That's true.
How a woman uses her tongue or her words can be a point of conflict, even in marriage, where a man has been told what he's not while growing up. You lived in a house where your parents have told you, hey, you don't know how to do this, you don't know how to do that. They've talked to you and they've talked to you to the point that it has affected your self-image. And now you've built yourself up and you're married.
Yeah.
You don't expect your wife to
You don't want to relieve the same experience.
Yes, to carry on from where your mother stopped or
where whoever
stopped.
Yeah.
So now you want your wife to be a different person.
Yeah. And push you beyond.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some women will now start speaking to their husbands like children.
Yeah.
This is a point of conflict, such that a woman has learned to take care of children and she's used to talking to children within the home. Knowing the distinction between your children and your husband becomes a challenge. And some men don't know how to deal with that.
That's true.
They either become defensive or aggressive or angry, to the point that sometimes if they don't know how to control themselves, they might become physical and engage in verbal and physical abuse.
That's true.
So please, every woman listening to us, use your tongue effectively to build your husband.
Yeah.
And prove to him that you are respectful.
Every man wants to come back to a home that is peaceful, that is tranquil. No man wants to come back to the house and feel like they're still at work. They want to come back home and chill.
They want a happy home.
They want a happy home. They want a
Peaceful
house
home.
where, exactly, they're just longing to come back home. But you find that this is not the case in some marriages. Unfortunately, it's not the case. Some men, avoid coming back home. They rather spend time with their colleagues. They rather spend time with, friends, just chilling. Whatever it is, excuse, not just to come back home. Oh, I'm working late. Oh, I have to travel for XYZ business. So they're constantly on the road, constantly traveling, constantly finding reasons to be away from home.
Who wants to marry a troublesome woman?
No one.
That is the thing. So when a man sees that the wife, in quotes, he has defined or perceived the wife as troublesome, he finds a way to avoid the home. So today we are saying that this is one of the things men wish their wives knew about them. That they want peaceful home. No matter how that man is, he wants where he can come home
and just
be happy
and just chill
and enjoy this home.
Exactly. And I just want to add, women, I don't know how it happens, but in every home, women actually set the tone, they set the mood of what happens in the home. So when you find that a woman is not happy, you can tell. So please, we've got this, it's a strategy, it's something we can use positively. So let's always set the positive mood, positive vibes in our home.
Another important point we want women to know about their men is that sex means a lot to a man. In fact, Many women do not understand why sex is such a big deal to most men. There are reasons for this.
Yeah.
Number one reason is that sexual desire for a woman starts from
The
her mind, her memory, or her emotions. Whereas for a man, the sexual
more physical.
is more physical. It starts from a physical point of view, which is driven by the hormones, sexual hormones such as testosterone.
Yeah. So, like you said, a man is driven by what they see, and that's why it's as if they are constantly longing, for sex. The fact that, oh, I'm hungry, I want to eat. A man, it's kind of similar. Sex is to a man because they're constantly wanting it. And for some women, they don't even understand why some men are always driven by sex. And I think that's because we are very different.
Let me also say that they are not always, let me point this clearly from a man's point of view, we are not always driven by sex.
Okay.
But the thing is that once the sexual hormones are active, it drives the way we approach sex from a physical point of view.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. But then I also want to say that it doesn't mean because we have this, physical drive for sex, we cannot control it. In us lie the power to control how we feel, what we do with our desires.
That's true.
Yes.
For a man, sex is a thrilling adventure. It's something that they always want to do. They want to explore all the time because for them it's like a pleasure point, and they're constantly wanting to engage in it. And sometimes women don't understand, especially when there's been a misunderstanding. How can a man desire sex when I'm not happy?
When there's a conflict.
Exactly. There's a conflict, and men, we need to talk about this thing. And he's striving for something else. I mean, let's sort out this first before we can move on to the next chapter. But
I think the reason for that is that men can compartmentalize.
Okay.
For a woman, everything is interlinked. She's happy, the relationship is going well, the job is good, everything is good, then she's happy to engage in sex.
Yeah.
But for a man, the house could be on fire and he's thinking about, one of the ways to deal with this now is to have sexual relationship with my wife. So even if he has issues to deal with at work, he can keep that aside. He can keep the conflict with the wife aside and enjoy the physical pleasure. And then maybe at the end, we can sort that out. For some men, it's even their strategy
to resolve
for
conflict.
resolving conflict. But I don't think it's the best approach. Resolve conflict and then you can enjoy sex.
Okay. Different strokes for different folks though.
Exactly.
Now there's another point I want to highlight here, because for a man, sexual performance is linked to his pride within the context of marriage. So if he's performing okay, it feels good as a man.
He has a sense of fulfillment and pride. Yeah.
I'm able to satisfy my wife and it feels good. But there are some men that are experiencing challenges in this area. So a lot of them are probably due to health conditions and due to so many other factors are not able to perform optimally in this area. And I think that this to a large extent would affect a man's ego.
Exactly. So if that's the case and the wife talks down on him
because of that,
uses it to taunt him or criticize him, he feels the woman doesn't really respect him and or she doesn't value him that much.
Yeah.
So a woman has a good role to play in this, to help the man navigate whatever the issue is, whatever the problem is. This is one of the reasons some men may even avoid sex, because it is a point of his ego being bruised. So he would rather avoid it and stay intact than to perform and fail for you to criticize him or for him to feel less of himself.
Yes.
Another key point we want to present to you is that every man wants a woman who can bring value in his life. Whichever angle you look at it, value in terms of emotional connection with the man. In fact, this is one of the reasons he even spent time with you before you guys got married.
Yes.
He was willing to stay on the phone with you for a long
Hours.
time. Hours talking with you because he was connected to you. And now you're married, he still wants that connection because that's the value you bring. The challenge now is that some women think we are now married, there is no point of me impressing him by how I dress, by my appearance, by the things I do. You think it's all done. No. A man is moved by what he sees.
Yeah.
So for him to be emotionally connected to you, for him to feel that sense of emotional connection, he needs to feel you respect him.
Yep.
And he needs to see the physical part of you in terms of your beauty,
Yes.
the way you appear. So don't take that value out of the mind. Bring the value of appearance, looking nice and exciting. Get into his head so that when he's at work, he's always thinking about you.
You can also bring value in terms of financial contribution, intellectual contribution, mental contribution. Don't allow your man to keep improving himself, advancing himself mentally, intellectually, and then you are taking the back seat. He wants you to be proactive as well. He wants you to, journey with him as he's advancing. He also wants you to advance. And I'm sure that a lot of men would want to see that.
Definitely. A man wants to be proud of his wife. He wants a woman he can present out there to say, this is my wife. And that happens when you bring a whole lot of value in the mind. Value in terms of how you take care of the children, value in terms of how you keep the home clean, value in terms of different things you can do, even value in terms of how you relate with his family members.
Yes.
Value in terms of how you comport and carry yourself.
Yes.
In terms of your character, your competence, and your commitment to the relationship as well.
That's true. And he also wants someone who will be an inspiration. Your husband wants you to inspire him. And this is partly one of the reasons why he married you in the first place, because he wants you to kind of journey with him, taking this quantum leap together.
And that is value.
We've said a lot of things. But what do you think men would wish that their wives knew about them? Maybe you can tell us in the comment section below. We would love to see your comments. Please keep it coming. And we just want to say thank you. We cannot exhaust everything that we have to say, but it's a wrap up for today. And we say thank you for engaging with our content. And if you are new to our channel, please do not forget, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you can be notified when we have new content put out. Now, until the next episode, is goodbye from us.